Hey guys, so this is pretty much just going to be a raw, real HIIT workout, no edits. But before I let you guys see that, I kind of wanted to talk about the benefits of HIIT, why it's a part of my routine, on and off prep, and kind of just educate you guys a little bit on what it's about. You probably see it all over Instagram. But HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. HIIT burns more calories in a shorter period of time, but requires you to work. You need to be reaching about 70 to 90% of your maximum heart rate. So for me, that would be about like 177 to 180 beats per minute. And that's really, really intense. HIIT is supposed to be till like failure. Like that's the only way it works. So if you're not dying out of breath and you really have to dig deep to get to that next workout, you're not doing it right. One study compared the calories burned during 30 minutes of HIIT weight training, running, and biking, and researchers found that HIIT burned 25 to 30% more calories than the other forms of exercise. And this was from a source found on pubmed.gov, which is published medical research studies. Keep in mind that HIIT usually is not even like 30 minutes long. That's probably the maximum amount. So for example, you can either do low intensity cardio, like walking on a high incline and burn 200 calories for 30 minutes, or you can do a HIIT workout for 15 minutes and burn the same amount of calories with less time, just with higher intensity. Also, due to the intensity of HIIT, studies found that your metabolic rate is higher after training, causing you to continue to burn calories throughout the day using the same source. So the feeling of death during HIIT is definitely worth it. It's also amazing if you want to gain like mental resiliency, discipline, because it's so hard. I do these to completely, it helps me to bring that conditioning and to burn that real stubborn fat. I'm kind of just talking out of my ass when I say that, but I really do see results when it comes to those hard, deep areas where, the fat likes to hang on. But that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy watching me die, and welcome to the vlog. Oh my god. I'm only stopping because I think I'm gonna throw up. If you're not willing to push yourself and have the courage to push yourself like that, I am not exempt. I've skipped, you know, intervals, but you gotta go back and finish it. That is HIIT. Let's go. So I'm done. Still somewhat raining, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And I ain't waiting for the weather to get better. So I'll see you in a bit. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's been like a couple weeks since that HIIT workout that you just saw. I saw my coach. It's been like 2 weeks, yeah. Not much has happened, but a lot has happened. But I will keep you guys updated. My goal is to keep these vlogs under 20 minutes now, like 15 minutes. I'm gonna try to do that. Simply for the fact that it's quarantine and there's really not much going on. I'm not just gonna go and like just make the same videos over and over again. But I do make them for me to inspire others, hopefully get you off your ass and into activity. It's time for my shake, and I want it now. So bomb, so bomb. Tip though, before you eat anything, like period, like whether it's in the morning or it's lunchtime, chug water. Like, for me, if you're an athlete, chug like a half gallon, okay? And if you're not an athlete and you sit all day, but you're trying to be healthier, chug a cup. Before, a warm cup, not cold, because cold water just makes me feel like I'm gonna die. Yeah, it's also good to have water, lukewarm water or like hot lemon water in the morning because it wakes up your organs. Sounds funny, but it's very true. So I'm gonna chug water before I have this, because if I don't chug water, I'll end up chugging this because I'm like thirsty as hell. Anyway, just chug a lot of water. Now I can enjoy my shake. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about cravings and hunger. Those are some of the most, I feel like those are the two things that are a lot of people's downfall, is the feeling of hunger or the thought that you are hungry when you're really not. And in that category kind of goes emotional eating, which concludes of bored eating and mindless eating, habits and that kind of thing. And then the cravings and the appetite. So you could be completely fine and then your brother walks in with a pie of pizza for the family and all of a sudden you're just like, pizza. And it kind of can be kind of hard, understandably. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. First, let's talk about cravings. Cravings come from many different things, right? And in my experience, it can come mainly from environmental and social factors. And what I mean by that is there's a difference between appetite and hunger. And your appetite, when you have a big appetite, usually cravings are fueled by that, right? So Your appetite can be triggered by societal or environmental factors. A social factor might be you're full, like you're not hungry, like your stomach isn't growling, like you don't have the feeling of like a hunger pang or anything like that. But all around you is like your family into barbecuing and things like that. Your appetite might be increased because there's everyone eating around you. People are eating and grabbing chips and having wings, and you already had your meal or whatever that might be, but you are more socially inclined to grab a couple of tortilla chips and salsa, because in your mind it's like you want to be a part of the environment and what's going on, and you don't want to seem weird, and also the food seems more good. So that is something to keep in account. And how I kind of navigate that is, okay, like if you're a bodybuilder on prep, bring your meal. Eat while everybody's eating so you don't feel out of place. If you eat before, then you're kind of just watching everybody else eat, but also if that's what works for you, then do that as well. Now, if you're not on prep and you're tracking macros or calories, eat before, like a whole meal, like something high in protein, good fats, and like a ton of veggies. Make sure you get in a lot of water, so when you go to the event, you have a bunch of calories or macronutrients, room for like some wings, some tortilla chips, but just be conscious of the portion sizes and how you're doing that. Now, an environmental factor of appetite would be like the smell of food. So one of my clients the other day, she was like, oh my God, like I'm done eating for the day because we're doing intermittent fasting. It's what works for her. Her family walks in with Chinese food, and she's like, oh my God, like the smell of the sweet sour chicken, this and that. And I'm like, okay. I asked her, were you even thinking about Chinese food before that Chinese food walked through the door? And she was like, no, like I really wasn't even craving it until it walked through the door. Because the smell of it, and the smell of that high salt, the sodium, the fat, it literally triggers your brain into wanting it. Because when you eat food like that hyper palatable food, hyper palatable means it's a mixture of sugar, fat, and salt. So it's like the top three that make you like addicted. And it triggers your brain into wanting it. So knowing that information, like, are you going to give in? Because here's the thing. A lot of people think that when they have cravings, say you're craving cookies, chocolate chip cookies, because they're there and your mom just baked them and you're like, damn, I really want one. Balance would be, okay, I'm gonna have one or two. Log it, make it work. But what you don't understand is that those types of food are literally manufactured to not make you have just two or one. You're gonna want 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you're like me and you get into like this, kind of, or how I used to be, like this cycle of like, okay, now I'm guilty, or now I already had more than my serving size, so I might as well go all out. You're putting yourself in a position where you're not gonna make the right choice for yourself. So what I'm getting to is, with your appetite, you can curb your appetite by eating voluminous foods. So eating whole foods. What you eat is just as important. So if you are eating a bunch of sugar-free stuff, that is going to make you crave sugar more. It is a scientific fact. Like, the more sugar-free stuff you have, the more you will crave sugar. Because it's tricking your brain. Like, you're not actually getting the sugar content, so you're just gonna want it more. Same thing. That's why, like, for free meals or cheat meals, whatever you want to call it, I stick with savory foods, like a burger, something like that, because it's still like a free meal, but it's more of like a refeed. But anyway, another thing with cravings, ladies, are you on your period? Like, because that's going to cause cravings. But to increase your appetite, also fiber. Not getting in too much fiber because that can upset your digestive system. But, you know, broccoli, cauliflower, those kind of meals. Making sure you're drinking water, because a lot of times our body confuses thirst for hunger. What else? Staying away from sugar-free stuff, eating whole foods, things that are gonna nourish your body. Also, a lot of people think that carbs are going to fill them up. Carbs are your body's first fuel source, choice of fuel. So when you're like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna have like some toast or something to like keep me full, or some potatoes, you're only gonna be full for so long. Choose protein is the most satiating, which is the feeling we're really looking for. That satiating feeling of just full, comfortable, and some good fats. So veggies, some good fats like coconut oil, olive oil, and a proper, you know, portion size. So don't like pour olive oil all over, depending on your goals, right? If you're trying to lose fat, but if you're just trying to be healthier, just stick to the serving size. The serving size is always what, you know, my rule of thumb is on the food label. But, you know, have something that's gonna satiate you. A protein bar isn't gonna satiate you. Like, I eat protein bars when I'm it's almost, the day is almost over and I need more protein, or I haven't eaten enough that day. Like, that's like to supplement my food. Like, you shouldn't be eating protein bars to fill you up, because it's just not gonna do the same thing as how, you know, chicken and veggies and like some coconut oil is gonna do for you. It's just not. Then as for hunger, you have to realize that if you are trying to lose body fat, hunger is inevitable. Do not, I made this mistake before, do not fight the hunger. The more you fight the hunger, the worse it is, the more you are inclined to just go on a binging phase, or just eat whatever, or just be like, F this. Invite the hunger, embrace the hunger, accept the cravings, because they're gonna come, they're gonna be there, it's a part of the process, you know? And that might not be the answer that you wanna hear, but it takes time, it takes practice, just like anything else, to understand that hunger is a part of the fat loss process. Hunger means that it's working. If you're not hungry, like, your metabolism has adapted and you need another stimulus to keep the progress going. And that doesn't mean always like drop calories more. Sometimes it means you need to refeed, but that's just too, you know, it's based on the individual at that point. But yeah, I kind of went on a ramble here. I am hungry now from all this talking, and it's almost time for my next meal, so it's a perfect time to show y'all my breakfast. People don't know this, and I didn't know this, but if you use spray oil versus the real oil for cooking, I only have classic olive oil, but olive oil, the spray oils, because they're spray, have 0 calories, whereas this has 14 grams of fat and 120 calories per 1 tablespoon. So majority of people that I look at when they cook pour like crazy amounts of, probably like 5 to 10 tablespoons, which is like usually more than like the daily average. So spray oil, and then if you want the extra fats, I recommend putting them on top of your food instead of cooking with it, because it's easier to measure, to track, and it tastes better anyway. Hey guys, so back. I've been working all day. I'm hiding behind this curtain because it has better lighting, but it's so ironic that this morning I was talking about dealing with hunger and appetite and all that, because today my hunger was like it was like a lot today. It's easy to like, I guess it's easier to give advice on things when you feel okay, but like I had to take my own advice, and that was just a perfect example. Like today I just couldn't stop thinking about how hungry I was, and I was working, and I took my advice of like trying to distract myself, but you really just have to like be intentional about doing something else, because I would do something else but like still be thinking about it, and I would have to be like, listen, if I'm going to be doing something else and focusing on work and whatever, I need to focus on it and not allow my thoughts of how hungry I am to take over. Chugging a lot of water, and then just really trying to keep myself busy worked. You know, you're gonna have days where it's easy, you're gonna have days when it's hard, but I'm telling you, if you give in on the days that it's hard, you're gonna feel like crap. And that was me all the time. Like anytime I would feel just overly hungry, I would give in, like kind of mindlessly too. Like my body would literally just lead me to the kitchen, and I would just eat and nibble on things that weren't like junk food, but like food. And it was like, fuck, like I'm not supposed to. Fat loss phase I'm talking about right here. But yeah, you gotta just get through the day, focus on something else that I can't wait to train tonight, and that's what I think of. And then food's not going anywhere, guys. Like we have a goal, the food's not going anywhere. I envision myself backstage, with all the bikini girls and everybody that I'm competing against. I think of who I'm competing against. Like, you think they're gonna be messing up right now? Like, no. So that's kind of what goes through my head personally, and I kind of just want to add on to that because I gave tips earlier, but this is like actually what I was thinking of as a competitor. I'm looking at videos, other girls' YouTube videos. It helps me stay motivated. Just envisioning and remembering that time backstage and how exhilarating it is and how it's all worth it. Check-ins with coach, like I want to be, I don't want to have anxiety with check-ins. Like I want to be good and feel good. So those are the things that I think about. And if it's your first time competing, you just gotta compete first and you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's about 6:46. I have my next meal in like an hour. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to work and just wanted to say that. So. All right, guys, this is my gym outfit. Is it cute? Thanks. But I'm about to head to the gym, kill some shoulders, do my 40-minute cardio, and then head home. But I'm gonna call at the end of this video, and thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this next vlog will be a little bit more eventful, as I see my coach this weekend, for real this time. And it's just been a little hectic because the whole team is there. It's hard to get like good footage, but I'm gonna try. So yeah, thanks for watching and supporting my channel, and I'll see you in the next vlog.